Nero.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Spoilercast for Devil May Cry 5. As you know, this is a podcast full of spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled on anything in the game, you should probably stop. 1, that intro, am I right? 2, you should probably stop listening to this. We have, as usual, our online co-hosts, KZ Excellent from kzexcellent.com. How you doing?
Gab.
I see you got that extra taunt. Nice. And also Mr. Feel from Mr. Feel's Wild Ride.
I'm just doing that dance in place as we record this.
The whole time.
Feel is always default dancing.
And Bob.
I've been living on nothing but pizza and ice cream sundaes since it launched.
He's not lying.
And Monster.
And Monster.
And one monster. One boomer juice was enough to sustain him. So we're here to talk about, you know, our general reviews, our premonitions, what went right, what went hilariously wrong, and the game overall, talking about the characters and everything else. I'm really glad that we're able to offer this service to people who beat that game and just want to fucking talk to someone about it, but don't want to spoil the shit out of it for them. So I'm really glad you guys support us so we can do that.
So hard.
It's frustrating, you know. It's getting bigger. Bang bang bang.
I'm talking to somebody. He's like, have you beaten Devil May Cry 5 yet? And he's like, no, I'm not going to buy it till later next week. And I'm like, fuck you. What good are you?
Agree.
And
what
then he was like, no,
loser.
fuck you. And he pukes all over you.
The reasonable reaction.
Oh, yeah. That's DMC is known for its good writing.
So how many seconds was that without mentioning DMC, Devil May Cry?
I'm counting about 53.
Okay.
Yeah, I did all right. Anyway, I guess we got to get to our new review segment for the spoiler cast. We each have to review the game out of 10. And just like real game journalists, I've barely beaten the game before I have to do this review.
Congratulations, Dan.
I've ascended. Quake 1 was better than Quake 2. And then we're going to add all of our scores together to Famitsu style, this spoiler cast scoring index. We're going to go ahead and start with
power level.
We're going to start with Bob because Bob's going to have the best review. Just say a few sentences about how you feel about the game overall and give it a score out of 10.
Devil May Cry 5 is very good. It is insanely good. It's definitely the best game I played since Devil May Cry 3. I'm not sure if it's better yet. It's going to take a while, but I'm still going to give it 10 out of 10 because I can't imagine anything else being this good. It's ridiculous. I don't even know what else to say.
KZ Excellent.
Devil May Cry 5 is the first time a Devil May Cry game had a full game's worth of content. It was the best. All of it was good. It's a 10.
Mr. Feel.
When Itsuno came out and did a panel for Devil May Cry 5 titled Devil May Cry 5, the ultimate action game at the end of the Heisei era, I thought that would be a little bit hyperbolic. It's not. This is the best Devil May Cry game. It is probably the best game Capcom has ever put out. It is debatably one of like the top 5 games ever made. It's a 10.
Okay.
Well, Dan.
And now my review. One of the things I like the most about Devil May Cry 5 isn't just the way it carries its tone and understands value and enjoyability over being self-serious. For example, the $10 DLC to add the pre-visualization live-action cutscenes into the gameplay instead of the actual in-game cutscenes. But it's the way that the game ends in a manner where it instantly and immediately invites you to play through the game again on a higher difficulty. It gives you that devil trigger right at the end as Nero, which changes up your combat options immediately. It is giving you stuff all the way up until the end of this game, and it just feels so good. Contrasting it against other Devil May Cry games, I feel like it had the least filler, the least terrible quote puzzles, and I think it's a really fantastic game. This is the first time since Devil May Cry 3 that I've played an action game that I thought legitimately superseded it, that went above and beyond it in a meaningful way. I give this game a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
I was waiting for you to give it a 7 or something. And just beat you to death.
Yeah, I was worried about that. I'd have to kill him.
You also made a very good point about. You made a very good point about puzzles there.
Yeah.
And it reminds me that the closest thing to a puzzle in this game is you gotta hit like 4 blood clots to fill blood in the center of a room, and Dante goes, man, I really had to use my brain on this one.
I know.
It's like, you just fucking hit 4 items. There was nothing to figure out.
There was no puzzle at all.
Dante, you had to go up the stairs. I know you would think a lot.
I know you think walking upstairs is a puzzle, Dante, but yeah.
Like, what is wrong?
Yeah, that was the point in my playthrough where I really even further was thinking about what it meant to be filler and what it meant to be really bad puzzle design. And him saying that was just them like hanging a light on it, you know, hanging a lantern on it and just highlighting like, hey, this is the closest thing to like filler you're gonna get, and it's not like you're running through the same room over and over and over.
You don't have like to grab an orb that starts sucking out your soul and then take it somewhere else.
I'm really surprised that didn't come back. That's in 2 different Devil May Cries. I figured they would do a callback to it.
Yeah, I kind of expected that too. So there you go, you guys. We debuted our review segment on our Spoilercast with the perfect game.
Great.
Don't expect this shit ever again.
I'm going
Please
to
be excited.
I will never give anything a 10 ever again, just because nothing will ever be as good as Devil May Cry 5.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I think that's probably right, unless Devil May Cry 6 comes out.
I didn't. This is such an anomaly. I've never had to consider this option before of like, oh yeah, you get to, because a lot of the times, like I used to write reviews for a PlayStation website back in the day. A lot of the times, what is a perfect game is super debatable. What is the peak of your scale is super esoteric as you try to navigate. Is this perfect like level of content? Is this a perfect polish? Is it blah? Is it blah? Never in a million years did I think, yeah, we would start debuting a review scale that in the first fucking thing we use it on is a unanimous 10 out of 10 game. It's just every square inch of this game has so much polish and so many layers to it that I really appreciate.
There's not a single part in the game that my brain even briefly goes, this could be over.
Yeah, no.
I think, what was it? Some people have discussed V and whether or not he's as deep as the other two because of his very different gameplay style. And I've related V to the world's most enjoyable vehicle segment, where he completely changes the dynamic of how you engage with the game. But instead of it being you're now on a vehicle and driving and it's shit, it's no, you now detached yourself from the action. It's more about managing these two doing the combos and everything else. So at no point playing as V did I grow tired of it. It was a nice change of pace. And since he's such a plot integral character, it also didn't have that Ninja Gaiden Black, you know, the re-release of Ninja Gaiden 1 where they added a playable segment as
Rachel.
Rachel. It didn't feel like that where you just go, fuck, stop making me play as Rachel. I want the story to continue.
I mean, fuck, stop making me play is how I feel about Ninja Gaiden at this point.
Oh.
Well, I mean, they stopped making them like a decade ago.
Raw.
Yeah, you're welcome. They stopped making them for you.
If I was forced to guess, I'd really think V is kind of like a training tool because Nero was in 4. Nero was already kind of that.
Mm-hmm.
But V is like, okay, you can do all your variety of shit, and you don't have to worry about yourself at all because you're never up there with them.
I appreciate that V is differently capable from the other two, because if we had 3 Dante scaled powered people running around this plot, I think that would be less interesting.
What the fuck could stand up to that?
I don't fucking a double Urizen.
Him immediately eating shit to Gilgamesh was pretty damn good. He's like, I can't fight this.
He's like, no, we must retreat. That would be advisable. Do, 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 do. It starts firing lasers, and he's like, fuck shit.
Yeah, I don't
Help me, Iago.
Yeah, I don't feel like he could be used as training so much because he relies on something so entirely different. Like I feel like Nero is still that training character.
See, you're thinking in terms of a human being, and I'm thinking in terms of like somebody who plays Madden.
Okay, I don't.
What do
yeah,
you?
because
where it's like they don't even the concept of like, okay, I shoot and then I mash attack and then I hold R1 and hold back and do that, and they do different things. I think even that has to be explained to some people, which is kind of how, because it's like Itsuno has a background in fighting games, and there are people who think you play fighting games by only using special moves.
Yeah,
a lot of people,
a ton. I think it really helps, like since you have such a pulled out perspective, it helps give you a different perspective on how enemies react to you attacking them and how to attack them properly during those gaps. Like, if anything, I think it would help someone who's getting to grips with Nero see a different perspective on it and maybe help them understand enemy patterns a little bit better. Either way, I just view it as a really enjoyable, almost type of filler thing, but since he's plot integral and his gameplay is the same type but differently concocted, I think it's a really welcome addition, personally. We were trying to do a count of how many levels Nero V has. What did it end up at? Like 4 mandatory, and then like 2 where you can choose
4 levels mandatory.
Yeah,
and then you get to choose not to be him one.
And there's 2 you can choose. And 2 you can choose them.
Yeah, it's 2. So yeah, I don't know. I've heard some, before we get on to discussing our premonitions from the Gamer Premonition series and whether or not they came true, I've heard some criticisms out there from other review shows / podcasts that they were irritated that they had to rebuy the abilities for the different characters, like speed and the devil heart or trigger heart, to let your devil trigger burn slower.
Yeah.
I'm curious about what the other co-hosts on here think about that criticism.
Red orbs are easy to get, so it never bothered me. I never considered it being a problem.
Red orbs are really easy to get is 1. 2, you might not want everything on every character. Like, I still haven't bought enemy step for V, because why would I be up there using enemy step?
Right. Also, I thought the speed run ability, the speed as V, was like the most important ability in the game.
It is really good as him, just riding around the Shadow Cat.
Mm-hmm. Also, it does damage to things when you run into it. So if there are tiny things like orbs and stuff, you don't even have to stop moving. You can attack crystals by running into them with the...
One of the secret missions is just do Tony Hawk with Shadow and get all the red orbs.
That's great.
I think I did that before getting that.
Yeah, there's a skate park in one of Nero's levels, and you have to do it to get a secret mission and a blue fragment. Alternatively, you can cheat because it's too hard, like I did, and just use Gerbera and...
Yeah, I was about to say, you can just use Gerbera against the ramps and just mash.
That's great.
Yeah, I also didn't quite figure out what it wanted from me at that point, so I already had the triple jump you get from the second playthrough when I found it. I was like, okay, I'm just flying up there, basically.
Yeah,
it took me till my second playthrough to realize that the rocket jump lets you also jump. I just never hit the button to jump.
Yeah, I knew you could do that because I messed around with that honestly more in the demo than I did in the full game.
Yeah.
But as far as like,
but again, that's a whole optional part of a level to use one mechanic of Nero's.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Hey Bob, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I feel like rebuying them as different characters didn't bother me, which is to say, like, you had to rebuy things for different weapons in Devil May Cry 3. Like, you had to buy double jump for different weapons, and that was really annoying.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to buy air hike for every weapon that has it in that game.
Yeah,
and that was weird. But I didn't get that feel.
Steep too.
Yeah, it was also very expensive. Whereas these are kind of cheap abilities, other than Trigger Heart. But Trigger Heart's something I didn't even buy until like near the end of the game. Actually, until my second playthrough. I didn't feel like it was super necessary.
Yeah, it's not necessary, and I think the pricing for a lot of these abilities is reasonable. Like, you can get the first level charge shot as Nero for not that much.
Yeah.
And then past that, it starts scaling, and it's like, no, it gets real strong, bro. How much do you want to commit? You got 40 grand? But okay. We're going to pause our discussion of the game for just a moment to talk about our premonitions. Mr. Feel, I've heard you've gone back, revisited the words of the past selves, and are here to tell us how wrong we were.
As what happened with Kingdom Hearts 3, all of our serious predictions were wrong, almost every single one of them.
No, I have one serious prediction that was correct.
What is it, KZ?
They did not explain why Morrison is black now.
Okay.
What a
That's
serious
fair.
prediction.
Look,
Once again, I come out on top.
My prediction: there are two Virgils.
Stupid jokes.
There are two Virgils.
All of our stupid jokes were correct. All of our really cynical things were either correct, or when Dan was not cynical, he was wrong. I appreciated how I made the joke that Kyrie will not be in this game. We might hear her voice and she'll be like Rose in Metal Gear Rising, and she was not in this game except for her voice.
Yeah, that's kind of honestly. I was like, it was either going to go one way or the other with that. I was like, either they've already shown us every model we're going to see because these are expensive to make and they aren't going to just hide them.
I'm devastated.
Or yeah.
No RE engine ass.
I mean, to be fair, Bob, they did hide Virgil's model.
They did.
When he fucking becomes Virgil, I was awestruck. Like, I'm just trying to cope because I had months to deal with Dante's face and Nero's face. And then I see Virgil, and I'm like, I don't have much time left in this game to get used to this.
My reaction was audibly, oh no, he's hot.
Virgil has the weirdest face of any of them.
I love the clashing between you two statements.
And also, like, Virgil has the haircut, because everybody else's hair, they either changed like Nero's, or they changed Dante's a little bit. But
he's
Virgil
more like
just has
Devil May Cry 1 style.
Yeah.
Virgil has the exact same haircut he had in 3, which is weird translated to hyper-realism.
I fucking love it translated into hyper-realism.
It is great.
He just has a
so
5
good.
head.
Yes.
He went
Like like all the power went into his fucking forehead.
apparently that fucking apple was full of hair gel. It's so great. But yeah, no, it was a real fucking shocker.
This is I'm gonna remind me about. Oh, you can't remind me because I haven't said it. There's a thing about Urizen Forma Perfection. Once we get to him, that I have to talk about.
Okay.
I've got the list, don't worry.
But we were so wrong. And they don't hide who V is, like, even a little bit. One of his taunts is an exact taunt Virgil has in 4 Special Edition.
Oh.
Yeah. Which one?
He has a taunt where he, like, makes a tiny summon sword in his palm, and it spins around, and V has that exact same taunt with Nightmare. With
Really?
Mini Nightmare.
Wow.
Yeah, like, Mini Nightmare just appears in his hand doing the lariat.
That's great.
Oh my lord.
And another thing is,
There was one with Shadow as well.
when you swing V's cane, that's just the start of Virgil's combo.
So I actually spent a good bit of this game's plot keeping in mind Bob's premonition, which we should repeat here because not everyone has watched that show. Bob, what was your premonition
My
about
premonition
V?
was that V was Mundus.
But you had more build-up. It was more elaborate. Please tell them.
We've seen his face crumble in the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that his book was going to turn from the V into an M.
It was just going to be like Simpsons House of Horror or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, and then the dust comes off and it's an M.
Yes.
I wanted that so bad to be real.
I spent most of that game being like, he just fucking lied to that person. That's not who he is it? And then he does it again, and I'm like, Mundus would totally fucking lie to Trish, so this hasn't helped me at all.
Yeah, I really thought, because, like, the more stuff that was like, is this a red herring or is this straightforward? Because it's like, he's like, that house was attacked and I was there. And I was like, does that mean he's Virgil or does that mean he's Mundus and he's like, I attacked it?
The best thing,
God, I never considered it.
they knew what they were doing. That's why he wields the monsters from Malay Island. But then they explain it as, well, these are the nightmares Virgil had of Malay Island. And I'm like, okay, I'll let you get away with it. I know why you did it.
Yeah, it was like this.
I also
option
like
thought,
how
but-
we can't fucking escape Kingdom Hearts. It literally is Heartless and Nobody, and they both die and recombine. Literally.
Hey Bob, I'm gonna leave the podcast.
Look.
You could talk to them about how Devil May Cry 5 is like Kingdom Hearts.
Come, Clyfont!
So I meant to say this during the stream, but I couldn't because it was spoilers. Virgil has the same moves as Vanitas. The
I
thing
think you
where
have
you
that
attack,
backwards.
Someone was talking about how the
thing-
fucking Yamato is a Keyblade.
the thing where you attack Virgil and he vanishes and immediately helm splitters you.
Yeah, that's something he's been
that
doing
is
since Devil May Cry 3, though, guys. So come on, Vanitas stole
Yeah, but-
Virgil.
Get it right.
I 100% think that was Vanitas stole it from Virgil.
I mean, honestly, if you're making an action game and you want to make sure it's good, you're damn right you play Devil May Cry 3.
If you
Too
want to make
slow,
a rival
scum.
character, of course you look at the best rival character in history that has never been matched.
Vanitas is like, idiocy, Sora, idiocy.
Oh my god, him doing any Virgil line.
Foolishness, Ventus.
So you know what's really weird? They hired Johnny Young Bosch to be Nero because of Bleach and Power Rangers.
Yes, definitely. Maybe try
But
gun.
he still sounds like young Danny Southworth. They have the exact same inflection on scum.
That has to be trained. Like they have to been telling to do that basically since the first one.
Voice directors can sometimes just be an almost completely absent role, but I do feel in this game the voice direction is really on point. Like they have from the ground up such a good ability to put together every cutscene and delivery in this game. Like every cutscene's so incredibly well thought out. It's insane.
This is the first time in his entire career Ruben Langdon had to capital A act, and he knocked it out of the park.
What are you talking about? In Devil May Cry 3, when he says, breakdown, I believe it, you know?
But yeah,
He's
I'm sure there was a lot of...
about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a lot... Oh yeah, all that shit was wrong.
I do.
Yeah.
But, it was good enough when he was just like... It was so good when he fucking walks up on Yurisen and he's like, let's see if you're him. And then he looks at him and then he goes, jackpot.
There's a second jackpot too. I don't know if any of you guys got the extended ending.
Of course.
Yeah, Bob did.
You get it automatically. You don't have to win those fights.
Oh, I
No,
thought you did.
you do. You know how I know? Does anyone want to
get it? I didn't get it the first time either. I had to go back.
Because
I didn't win the Nero one, but I won the Dante one.
Did you get both
Yeah.
scenes, the Trish and Lady ones, and the?
Yeah, I did. I got the crazy bitches, and then I got the don't you say it.
It must be if you win either, you get them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was an hour and 50 minutes until I had to wake up for work.
For fuck's
I was
sake,
already
Dan.
fucking tired as hell, and I was really sick of the internet spoiling shit. So I mashed gold orbs into my fucking gob until I beat those two. I was just like, go now. I get a daily login bonus. I don't care.
Like fuck you, another doppelganger. Oh,
But yeah, that second jackpot's really good.
that might be my favorite end of game last line ever.
Yeah.
It's also
Just
great
because Virgil's getting upset.
Yep.
I'm gonna segue. Oh, but they had been fighting for who knows how long. You know, Dante said jackpot every single time he won.
He's like, don't you dare say it.
So this seems like a good time to mention the data mining, because that is what they data mined.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
So they data mined some Bloody Palace stuff, which is going to come out next month in April. They found co-op, like actual co-op, like code for lobbies, not just random co-op.
Oh.
Yeah, so I assume that's co-op for Bloody Palace.
Yeah.
And they found Virgil, which means that I bet there will be a Virgil and Dante mode of Bloody Palace.
Yeah,
I assume
there's
they
that,
let you choose
or an extension DLC about them in hell. I figure I'm totally down to pay whatever for that.
Whatever you want, Itsuno. I will pay for every single thing you make for this game.
I just want more costumes. I will pay as many times you want to release more costumes.
I will
buy
buy
them.
you and Matt Walker lunch.
If they do an expansion where it's a sequel, I hope that Virgil, since they're making him a playable character, all we see him use is the Yamato. So I have to wonder if they're going to bring back Beowulf in Force Edge, or if they're going to give him something legitimately new for other weapons.
Maybe he'll just have a shitload of moves with Yamato. Maybe he'll have V's cane as a weapon and does weird things with it.
Maybe. Was it because we saw like he had every single move from Special Edition in that fight. So that's already a ton of moves for Yamato.
Mm-hmm.
He started doing some new stuff when I was going through Son of Sparta. Like, I never experienced him summoning swords above my head and then slamming them down.
He does those right at the start of the fight, like, move, fucker.
Yeah.
Yup.
He does that. And that's also from Special Edition. So it's...
There's also another thing he does, Bob. A little thing from DMC Devil May Cry.
What does he do from DMC Devil May Cry?
He makes a doppelganger of himself, and that was Virgil's entire DT in DMC Devil May Cry, was that his power was just to make a doppelganger.
I forgot that was even a thing in that game, honestly.
Which leads us into the premonition we were most wrong about, which was that Itsuno wouldn't take a pot shot at Ninja Theory, and he did. He just did it in the Japanese developer way of shaming them by doing them better.
I mean, they've been doing that since Special Edition.
I think this is a Space Jam reach from Mr. Feel of just like,
no,
hey, they did the thing from that game, so it has to be a burn.
Yeah.
No, it's a burn when Dante says "not in a million years" during that fight.
That is a burn, yes.
It's also a burn.
That's a callback to how they had every single trophy in that DMC game be an old Devil May Cry reference. So it's just another throwback.
Also, the area looks kind of similar. Also, when you fight, also the very, very final fight against Virgil, dubstep starts playing.
I'm gonna say the only burn against
this is an attack on DMC because there's dubstep playing.
I think it's just I'm gonna make the final boss.
Felix Jones,
good.
Down.
I think the only burn against Devil May Crap in here is that they do the cowboy dance where it was on that fucking slide in the development of DMC of like
that slide was fucking ridiculous.
Right. I am sure it hurt. I'm sure it really offended and hurt some of the designers on Dante back in the day where it's like Ninja Theory's Tamim Antoniada is coming out and talking about like Dante from the prior games isn't cool. He's kind of like a gay cowboy. Like they show a Brokeback Mountain slide and then it is just like
it's a Brokeback Mountain with Dante shopped in with the Gilgamesh from 4.
Right. So then what they do in this game, of course, is they have the hat pop onto his head, a scarf pop out, and he does Michael Jackson dances. That's a burn and hilarious.
I don't know. That's just them fully embracing what the Ninja Theory thought they were.
Right. Right. Well, that is a burn, right? if you go, no, this is what Dante is, that is in fact spiteful to their stupid fucking vision of what Dante is.
Because Dante isn't a gay cowboy. That's not cool. Instead, Dante is just me. That's cool. He
I
looks
know,
exactly
right?
like me.
It's kind of ridiculous how much Dante from that looked like to me, Antoniades. My mind was blown when I saw that.
That's a weird ass name.
Yeah,
and yet very memorizable because what a fucking name!
Sounds like a JRPG villain.
He was mine for a little while. Luckily, he got sealed in the vessel known as Microsoft.
Yes, his coffin is made. Somebody
at Microsoft's first party wakes up and the entire Microsoft Game Studios is like a vault that's gone terribly bad in Fallout. Everyone's dead but them.
Obsidian is the only one that survives.
I don't know
We've
anymore.
lived through death 300 times. We can't die here.
They're experiencing living death. They're just immortal. They're a fucking skeleton king.
Yeah, so they're straight up Dark Souls characters.
Oh man. But yeah, I think one of my favorite parts about this game, playing through it, is how for some reason when I engaged with Dante in 4, I felt less inclined to actively use all of his styles. For some reason, just the way he controls in 4, whether he was too powerful or something, the Dante parts in that weren't really good.
I mean,
to me,
one rough thing about him in 4 is he has weird weapons, like getting good with Lucifer and getting good with Pandora is not fun.
Right.
Like,
and that's
just out of the gate, it's not immediately fun to use those
Lucifer's
weapons.
raw.
Yeah, I saw a fucking review for DMC5 where they're like, this is the craziest the weapons have ever been. And I'm like,
No,
have you seen Pandora?
Actually,
Have you seen Pandora? That thing's stupid.
The only
you remember
weapon-
the fucking guitar
the only
from
weapon-
3?
the only weapon in DMC5 that is even a little bit weird is the hat.
Right. And that thing is really it's literally a trick shot skill type weapon where if you're really good at doing it, you can get good rewards.
Or if you want to go into photo mode and say, hey, Big Urizen has a cowboy hat on now because I threw it on him.
That's too
A
good.
friend of mine,
The better one, you
a
throw
Virgil-
it at Cerberus and there's baby hats on all 3 heads.
oh,
Wow!
that's great.
That's too good.
But somebody sent me one of them. They threw it onto Virgil, and they just were typing in all caps, like screaming, like, "No, they took it off me in the patch. Ninja Theory decided it wasn't canon." Because if you don't know, in DMC Devil May Cry, Virgil has a fedora.
Yeah.
And in the definitive edition, they patched out the fedora. They just removed them in all the cutscenes.
That's
It needs a checkbox. It needs a checkbox to turn the fedora on. We need to get that.
That's the definition of insecurity, when you have to patch out a fucking hat.
Yes.
Oh my god. I really liked, like, when I finished this game, I was honestly like, man, this is the first. It's hard to encapsulate in a succinct manner my opinions on the evolution of the games industry over time since the PS2 era and all of the problems with it. But this is the first time I've been like, it is a hyper polished game. It has a ton of replay value. It has so many layers, and it has more content than you would expect, generally speaking, from prior games in the same series. This game, as I said, first time since Devil May Cry 3, I think it's been pushed further as a genre. Not to put a lot of pressure on Astral Chain, but I'm excited for that to come out later this year.
I don't even think Astral Chain is going to really be the same genre. It has.
Do you think it's going to be
element?
You think it's going to be near adjacent?
Yeah, I think it's like there's just games can just be action games. They don't have to be these hyper focused skill based ones. I think it trends more towards that.
To borrow some terminology from past me, they can be good action games or other action games. So
I don't think that's fair.
Alter action games.
I'll let you guess which.
Nano Breaker is fine, sir.
It's not fine!
Astral Chain is Nano Breaker adjacent.
Dude, if Astral Chain is Nano Breaker adjacent, I'll buy it on day one for $60 because that's just stupid.
Astral Chain is bouncer adjacent.
I just think like on the scale where like one end is Dark Souls and the other end is Devil May Cry 5 on the action game scale, Astral Chain is like 60% of the way towards Devil May Cry 5, as opposed to like Bayonetta, which would be like 90% of the way.
But yeah, I'm just really excited for Astral Chain to happen. And for us to maybe someday figure out what the fuck Kami is working on. Who knows? It's probably Resident Evil 8.
Yeah, sure.
It's Beautiful Joe 3.
It could be. But anyway.
I've been hearing.
Heard some words.
It'll be really great when in Beautiful Joe 3, there will be an unlockable Nero.
I'd be down for that.
No, Alistair needs to come back.
No, there's an alternate female character that's just the Red Queen.
Oh, no.
Because Alistair is already a playable character.
Yeah, you're speaking to me in some
And if they do like the you play as Joe and Sylvia thing like from 2, they do the same thing with Alistair and Red Queen. That'd be sick.
You're making a raw video game here on our Nano Breaker Spoilercast.
Okay, so let's go ahead and just talk about the sections of the game roughly in the order they happen, just like large chunks of the game.
So I want to talk about the prologue first, because I think it's a very different from the previous prologues in previous games.
Yeah, it was.
Like how in DMC3 you just fight 6 guys in an office, and in DMC4 you just shoot Dante a couple times and hit him with a sword like once.
Yeah, that's the worst.
You buster him.
No, you can't buster him yet. I don't think you get it yet. On repeats you can buster him, but the mission the very first time you do not have buster. So I guess it's kind of a callback to that where you don't have one of the mechanics. Or maybe you get it halfway through.
Yeah, I think you get it
halfway through because that's where they teach it to you and they have that interaction with it.
You just don't have snacks yet.
They have Dante hit the cast with his sword, and that's when it explodes out of it.
Mm-hmm. Feels insanity popped up a little bit.
But yeah,
well, I try not to remember 4. I never have to think about it or play it ever again.
I know, isn't that nice?
It is a good feeling.
I'm gonna be honest. I can go back to 4. I don't think I'll ever play 3 again.
That's fine. But Phil, you wanted to talk about the prologue?
Because this just so happens to be a better 3.
So it's a really cool prologue. First, I did not expect their first to start in media res, and second for us to go backwards in the timeline at points in this game.
Right. You don't expect that a lot of the time from really good games. You kind of just expect it from bad games. Because it's really easy to fuck up jumping all over a timeline.
Yeah, luckily they put that little mission menu thing, and they constantly are like, hey, this is what time it is.
I know. Isn't that great? I think that's a really awesome
constantly making you aware of what is happening when and
of the passage of time to provide context. And, you know, that's a thing I feel is really important to retrospective type videos where they're like, in the winter of 1994, this came out. And I'm like, what was out at the time? You need to give me more context for this. Not everyone's walking around with the encyclopedic knowledge that the Saturn launched in Japan in 1994, dude. This game is just like, I'm going to show you where on this timeline every single mission took place. Like, that's awesome.
Oh, that reminds me. Did any of you watch the history of DMC video?
Yes.
With the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you like how the anime got more time than DMC2?
Raw.
Yeah, Devil May Cry 2 is just like, he fought a demon. It was about as strong as Mundus.
No, it doesn't even say that. It was like, it posed no threat to Dante whatsoever.
You know what's great? Patty has more lines than Kyriak.
No, she doesn't.
It's got to be close.
It's not the same.
They have like a conversation.
Oh yeah.
They both have a collective 2.5 sentences.
Yeah, but then he talks. Oh, you don't hear Kyrie the second. No, you do. You hear it at the ending.
Yeah.
Bob, you had some opinions on the prologue. Did you want to express them here, or just about how it's a forced fail?
Oh
segment, kind of.
The
kind of
forced failing in a game, especially a game like this, is always iffy. I don't. That feels weird.
Yeah.
In a Devil May Cry game to me. I think it handled it well here. You die pretty quickly, and there is an alternate ending if you somehow manage to kill it.
Yeah, and if you're somehow super good, it just unlocks the next difficulty.
Oh wow, I didn't even know it.
Fucking real.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you beat Urizen before you beat the game, it just goes, good job, here's Son of Sparta, go.
That's great.
I assume it must also do that if you beat him in Mission 8. But I haven't seen anybody demonstrate that yet.
You haven't tried that yet.
Good lord.
It's great because they speed through the credits and it still lists the same credits, so you see Virgil in there.
They showed him in the trailer.
Not everyone watched the trailer that's a week beforehand.
Yeah, they labeled spoilers, don't watch, please.
Wow, they actually showed Virgil in that trailer?
Yeah, they
at the very end, the last they show a shot from a distance.
God.
Yeah, you don't get to see his face.
The world shatters.
You see his
the
hand.
final shot is just his back of his head.
Jesus Christ.
So I just looked it up. Apparently beating him in Mission 8 gives you the exact same ending.
That's pretty hilarious.
And presumably it will also unlock the next difficulty.
They also showed Nero's devil trigger in that trailer, like the part where his wings start growing.
I'm really glad I didn't fucking watch that trailer.
My fists like went into the air when his wings popped out at the end and it formed the logo.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, man, why the fuck didn't I have that premonition? Like, it's so obviously a thing they're going to do when the title screen does it. But anyway, I really like how as you play through the game, when you die, the fail game over screen is different each time, showing you the progression of the demon tree.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I sure saw that last form of the tree a lot.
Yeah, I saw it about 15 times before we recorded this.
Yeah.
It's like I can't use a gold orb on these last fights. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm not a casual.
I'm such a filthy casual. Speaking of which, Bob told me after I beat the game, it's not guaranteed that you get the double Kalinas. What?
Yeah, if you can find the original Kalina Ann in Mission 11,
right?
In the hotel that's crumbling, and then if you have both, you can buy the Pandora laser from 4.
And see, that's the thing. I didn't realize that you could have missed the Kalina in that one mission, so it didn't even occur to me.
I only found that today.
Yeah, I didn't find it. I had to go back and get it.
This is really unfortunate for all of you guys, because the first time I saw that cutscene where she goes, here's her new rocket launcher, you can have it. And I'm like, I already have one. Lady's really upset you're giving this to me. This is so wasteful. I was laughing so fucking hard. But then, as Max Gunslinger, you can circle with the double rocket launcher and just shoot out a volley of fucking homing rockets.
A thing they very clearly designed, because in Devil May Cry 4, nothing was designed for Dante at all.
Yeah.
I'm sure they gave it a once-over to make sure there was nothing that he couldn't deal with.
Right.
But nothing is designed for Dante at all. In this, there's stuff that feels like it's encouraged for you to use specific styles.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
that laser that you can do when you stick both Kalina Anns together, and I just fucking murdered that bird.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
The one from just hitting circle is even better because it just shreds both of them, and then you can beat up on Nightmare.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was using that for, because as I was going through the triple Virgil Nightmare battles, I was just like, and we start with a circle. Oh man, but the laser thing fucking blew my mind, because I saw when I bought that skill, it was like, you could do a charge shot, and I'm like, okay, oh cool, he put the rocket launchers together, it's gonna shoot a really big rocket.
Because that's
they gave Dante a lot of buttons that are just, you rip everything apart with this, like how they gave him his version of Judgment Cut.
Oh, you mean his Sin Devil Trigger?
Yeah, we should definitely have a discussion.
His Sin Devil Trigger's ultimate move that's just called Judgment, where he nukes the field.
I think it's really cool that they gave Dante his own version of summoned swords that still feel very different from Virgil's, because Virgil's are very precise, and Dante's are just Unga, swing Unga.
So we need to talk about real quick the Devil's, what was it, the Devil Swords Dante and the Sin Devil Trigger. Those were things I did not expect from this game. I did not expect.
Yeah, I didn't either.
That was all out of left fucking field.
Right. That was very.
They actually show that form in a trailer, but I never really looked at Majin form, so I assumed it was the same thing. So I had
I assumed it was Majin form.
Yeah, I didn't know it was some brand spanking new form. And now they've made the meme of him getting stabbed a gameplay mechanic.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And a narrative mechanic. It's good.
It was very good.
It was very good.
I do really like that the Dante sword has the amulet in the hilt.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I generally didn't like the look of this sword that much compared to his other swords, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to take some getting used to.
I thought it was really cool. It's a very different look.
I think it's
Which
being
one do you
bedrocky.
prefer gameplay-wise? Because I like the Dante sword the most.
Yeah, the Dante sword is definitely...
I didn't use the other
take,
ones after I got it.
Yeah, they take a lot of things from Nero that I like the air attacks just being midair and not having Helmbreaker, except for Helmbreaker's the same way you do it as Nero, of holding back an attack to do
Yeah.
it. And that's a lot easier to deal
And
with.
you have Prop Shredder as your 2-hit pause combo.
Right. So I'm a little divided on it.
Something that's cool is since when you beat the game, you get access to all of Dante's swords that he would have throughout the game. And once you beat it on Son of Sparta, they say, "Oh, you've unlocked an upgrade now where you can equip every weapon."
Yeah, so you can
But
have
you can
like
equip-
all 3 swords.
Yeah, and it costs like 100 red orbs, and you can just have 7 slots now, so you can use everything. But
What?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, it's insane.
It's the
And they
definition
say
of insanity.
And they said this is going to be very hard for you to master. Caution.
Also, you can use both motorcycles because they have mechanical differences.
Yes, you can use
Yep.
all of them.
I use the red one because it's raw.
Hey guys, what's both motorcycles?
There's a pre-order motorcycle.
Yeah, there's a pre-order one that's
deluxe
red,
edition motorcycle.
or
Okay.
deluxe edition that's red, and it doesn't have the armor the normal one has on some of its moves, but it has like a midair stinger.
Holy shit.
And it's red to match the Dante color scheme.
So about the whole thing you were talking about, where his midair combat with the Devil Sword Dante becomes like Nero's, that actually threw me for a fucking loop. My brain was set up where it's like, that's what Nero does. But then when Dante started doing it, I'm like, fuck, Unga. As I keep accidentally staying in midair, swinging at an enemy that's on the ground.
Right.
Because my brain is...
That saved me during the Virgil fights. Where, like, he will do his big move, and I'll immediately stinger, launch, and then just start mashing triangle and circle and swordmaster mode. And
You gotta mash both
murdering
at the
it.
same time, so you get the spirituals, you get the summon swords.
Oh,
But then
although-
my finisher
Yeah.
is, of course, the Kalina air and explosion.
Although, speaking of Unga, have you guys done the secret mission of staying in the air for 15 seconds?
oh yeah.
Yes.
No.
Did you know you don't have to enemy step a single time to do that?
Oh yeah. No.
What I did was I devil triggered, did a triple jump, and then just spammed sword master motorcycle and just started doing flips.
See, you don't even have to do that. You can just mash the motorcycles. Dante's just Unga, swinging the big motorcycle clubs and never sinking for a second.
Yeah, that's basically what I was doing. I just did the circle one where he kind of spins with it.
One of the more fun, but maybe what's up, Bob?
I'm like, I used enemy step. I don't know.
Yeah, I know you bought enemy step way early compared to a lot of
It's so
people.
funny.
Because
It's so funny. They brought back
I had
the most.
no patience for fair versions of secret missions, mostly because I was really bad with the scissor one.
The secret missions are actually all good this time. It's crazy.
They brought. I was about to mention that they brought back that instant kill the scissor one. I was so happy. It's also really easy this time as opposed to DMC1 where it's a nightmare.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
one of the combat options that I really fucking enjoyed, because I'm a fan of Gunslinger, just because some of the circle attacks with the guns are really good. I also like Shotgun Stinger.
Yep.
Mid-air Kalina using the circle button on Gunslinger, you shoot a rocket straight down that gives you additional air. When Virgil would try to do a fucking stinger attack into me, like flying at me, I'd just jump up and do that, and a rocket would hit him in the face as he flies past. It's just
Did in any of you guys' playthroughs did Shadow do the spike that you can buy that you can walk on when you fight the summons?
Oh, I didn't try that. No,
I did
didn't see
buy that ability. I think he did do it to me. Yeah.
Because I'm just curious if they kept the instant kill from DMC1 in.
Oh,
that.
I don't think they did that.
Well, did you do it? They might.
Hmm.
It'd be I'm sure it would just turn him into the orb state instantly, but it would be hilarious if they kept that in.
Wait, so like, cause when he does that move, you do something to him? Because I can't remember.
In DMC1, when Shadow does the spike, like the big long spike, you jump up on it, run up to him, and shoot him with the shotgun, and it instantly kills him.
Ah, okay. Because I was thinking,
Yeah, they could just turn him into the ball for that, and that'd be pretty fine.
it's crazy that those orbs are the exact same thing the Shadow turned into in Devil May Cry 1.
Yes, it's amazing.
It's also crazy that the fight has an entirely new mechanic in Son of Sparta mode.
Which fight?
Maybe it's in normal. I never got it on normal, where Nightmare will heal them and heal himself.
Oh, I didn't even know that was new.
That's in normal as well.
Okay.
Like he'll just do that if they're like downed or really close to death.
Yeah.
Does it do the thing where he sucks the energy out of fissures in the earth to heal himself?
I've never seen him heal himself.
I've never seen that.
If you focus on him while ignoring the other two, on Son of Sparta mode, there's 3. I think there's like these fissures erupting with purple energy.
Oh, that's what's going on.
And he'll just run over to one and punch it, and he'll gain like half his health back.
If you go around in that level, you can knock down those fissures from that. Like there's different pustules of the tree that are holding those up. So you break them, and those things fall off of the arena at the top.
Oh, is that what you're... So those blood clots that you attack, that's what that's doing?
Yeah, now that Phil said that, it adds up.
Okay, no wonder, because I actually do get all of those taken care of.
Yeah, because I the whole time I was doing that, I was like, what is this doing? And then during the fight, I noticed that there were pillars you could break that would heal you completely. So I got some of that, and I was like, okay, that's what it did. I got that in an area where you can hit it. But I didn't know.
Did you guys realize that you don't have to knock the bridge down as V, and if the person playing as V doesn't do that, it won't happen in Mission 3 as Nero?
I didn't know you could get by there without doing that, because it was always insane to be like, hey, this looks like it's going to break, and then you break it.
But you don't have to. You can just keep going.
That's great.
And I think if you do break it, it unlocks something for Nero, like an item.
Huh.
Also, what makes Gilgamesh fall, Gilgamesh. What makes Gilgamesh fall in Nero's fight is if somebody doing V's second mission destroys the leg that comes down and attacks him.
Oh, does that cutscene play for V ever? Because I felt like
I don't think it plays for V. I think it only plays from Nero's perspective.
Yeah, that's what confused me. Also, on Son of Sparta mode, it seems there are just more legs that just come out throughout V's level.
There are.
Huh.
Yeah, because I think on Son of Sparta, there are like 3 or 4 that just appear occasionally and start harassing you.
Well, we're talking about that part of the game. I think that thing Lady's trapped inside, that is Artemis, a weapon from Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The novel Lady uses it on him.
Freaking, while we saw trailers, I was like, that looks like Artemis stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, there's no way. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I actually do want to have a discussion about something. There's so many weapons and ideas and everything else that Devil May Cry 5 not only inherits from all the prior games, but improves on and polishes. At some point, it almost feels a little weird to be like, this is the best action game ever, because they had 4 games before it to invent all of these ideas, and now they're all in one game, hyper polished. Like, it's great, but it's kind of like we did a Cerberus boss fight. That was just like, it's the Cerberus boss fight, but we've reinvented it to be a lot more mobile.
It's entirely different.
He'd no longer chained to a wall.
Yeah.
I didn't actually like the Cerberus fight in 3, but I really liked this one.
Yeah,
how aggressive and free it was.
Yeah, I like that. I also liked how he's like, those bosses from 4 were little bitches.
Yeah,
shit,
that was
I'm
good.
the king.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good.
He doesn't shit talk Nevin.
Yep.
No.
Only shit talks the bosses from 4.
Is there Cerberus in 4?
No, but
no.
Okay.
No.
It's Fire Guy. He says burial's nothing.
Oh yeah. That was fucking hilarious.
And then he says the frog, and then he says the frogs are nothing.
Yeah. He just keeps shit talking bosses from 4.
I forgot about that part
during the fight with King Cerberus. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Making fun of him for being like, this is the same thing from the last guy. Really?
But when he turns to electric, he does not shit talk Nevin.
Huh?
Yeah, there wasn't an electric boss other than Nevin that I can think of, and only 4's bosses should be constantly yelled at.
Mm-hmm.
I like how there's an explanation for the Artemis boss, but there isn't one for Gilgamesh. Urizen just somehow got that weapon and made it into a boss.
Well, you see, Dante sold it.
I think in the gallery, it's like, oh, it's been fused with the roots of the tree, is what they're going with, and that's why it's a giant.
Yeah, but how did it get there?
Who knows?
Someone bought it, and then it ended up... That person ended up going to that city.
Next time on the Devil May Cry 5 Spoilercast, the whole crew talks about the rest of the game, their least favorite moments, and Feel says another reason this game is owning DMC. So join us next time for the Devil May Cry 5 Spoilercast Part 2.
Okay, Bob.
What's up?
We're doing it.
What am I supposed to say at the beginning of this? Like the
You're supposed to say that this is the GigaBoots executive producers. So you're supposed to thank them.
This month's GigaBoots executive producers for February 2019 are Vincent Poverk, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Brendan O'Sullivan, Star Falcon,
Even if you say it right now, it's that one.
Spaceman Spiff, Prince Van Space, Danny Richardson, Dryzart, Wardonis, Shadow in the Darkness, and Shadow in the Darkness. Thanks to our executive producers, and also these guys. Oh man, where'd they go? They're so quick. You think they'll be back?
No. Tell them they can go to patreon.com/gigaboots today.
Go to gigaboots.com and become a patron. Yeah, you can go to GigaBoots. You can go to patreon.com and become a patron of GigaBoots.
We're letting you do that. You're welcome.
It was great. It would be great. Thank you for doing it. I'm sure you've already done it.